Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Sunday, December 15th. Your Jacksonville Jaguars have fallen at the bank in the Prowlers for the first time as throwbacks. Second game wearing them. Final score 32-25. The Jets get to 4-10 on the season. The Jaguars fall to 3-11 on the year. So, Jags, it was another close game. Jaguars have been involved in a number of close games as of late this year. They've been involved in a number of one-score games. This is, I believe, the 8th game where the Jaguars have lost by one score or less. So, a football team that's been close, right, in a lot of games, but mistakes here and there, whether that be defensive play calling, not being able to match what the offense is doing. For example, Devin Lloyd in single coverage down the field on Devontae Adams. That is a mismatch all day, right? Things like that make it difficult to win in this league. But how about, what was Mac Jones thinking at the end throwing that football, the last interception to seal the deal as the Jaguars were trying to march down the field, score a touchdown to tie the game? And what were the Jets thinking, even giving the Jaguars the ball back? The Jets could have sat on the ball, kicked a 1-yard field goal, and walked out of there. Instead, the Jets score a touchdown intentionally. It wasn't like the runner accidentally ran into the end zone. Everybody was celebrating afterwards. Maybe they just knew that Mac Jones couldn't lead a game-winning drive. I don't know. But from a strategic standpoint, absolutely zero reason for the Jets to score that touchdown. So a bizarre ending to a pretty weird game overall. It was entertaining. Obviously a 32-25 game. That is a lot more points than I expected. I expected the Jags to lose this one because I think the Jets right now are just a more talented team. But wild game. Absolutely wild game. How about Brian Thomas Jr., though? Got to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. 10 catches on 14 targets, 105 yards, 2 big touchdowns. Not one, but 2 touchdowns. He is now the Jaguars rookie receptions leader all-time in franchise history. He is the franchise's all-time rookie receiving touchdowns leader as well. So congrats to Brian Thomas Jr., who is just having a heck of a rookie year. And no, he has not been perfect. He was not perfect today, right? He wasn't. But he's been so damn good, and he has been the lifeblood of the Jaguars offense since Trevor Lawrence's injury. Like, he is the one. He's the only player that the Jaguars have been able to consistently count on week in and week out, right? That has been the role of Brian Thomas Jr. for this football team. We're going to get into the rest of this game. First, want to shout out Wesley, who I met this morning at coffee. Fan of the show, said what up. Shout out to you, Wesley. Appreciate you tuning in. Also appreciate our channel members, Brian, Eileen, Jackson, Debbie Lynn. Y'all really help out what we're doing here, so thank you so much. And thanks everybody for tuning in, supporting the channel. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this Jaguars loss in the comment section below. Are you happy that the Jacksonville Jaguars lost this football game and potentially helped themselves when it comes to the NFL draft? Are you disappointed they lost another close one, which has been the story of the year, no pun intended, right? Jags now, as of this moment, they are 4th in the NFL draft order, so they have moved up one spot. And you see the rest of these games, it looks like they are final as well. New York Giants are 2-12. The Raiders are 2-11. I believe that they were losing their game as well. We can check on that real quick just to make sure, confirm that the Raiders are losing that football game. Where is it here? All right, where are you hiding at from me, Raiders? Oh, they play tomorrow night. That's right. The Raiders are taking on... Who are the Raiders taking on? It's hiding from me for some reason. But the Raiders play tomorrow night, I believe. Yeah. Raiders schedule. Sorry about this. I know this is great podcasting. So the Raiders are taking on the Falcons tomorrow in Vegas, 8:30 p.m. Monday Night Football. So the Raiders, that's still to be determined. So I can tell you right now, if the Raiders fall to 2-12, lose to the Falcons, they will still obviously be in front of the Jaguars in draft order. If the Raiders win that game, if the Raiders are able to beat the Falcons, they will be 3-11, same record as the Jaguars, and they have a stronger strength of schedule. So the Jaguars would be in third. Okay. That's how that is looking right now. Thanks to our good friends over at Tankathon. Always a great resource this time of year for Jaguars fans and fans around the league. But getting back to this football game, which again was very entertaining. 32-25, the Jacksonville Jaguars fall. Again, wearing the Prowlers, it stinks to see them lose in the Prowlers, obviously, but at least they were in a competitive game. And look, what happened here? Why were the Jaguars able to score 25 points in a game without Trevor Lawrence, without Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, all these guys, right? They ran the ball. The Jaguars ran the ball 29 times. 29 times for 136 yards, 4.7 yards per carry. So that's one. Being able to run the ball effectively is massive. And look, they got lucky. Tank Bigsby fumbled the ball. He's had some ball security issues throughout his young career. He fumbled the ball, but it got negated by a Jets penalty. Okay. And then he also had a drop. Obviously, that's not going to cost you in terms of turning the football over, but they were able to stay in this game because they were able to run the ball, and the screen game was working. The Brian Thomas game was working, right? Slants to Brian Thomas Jr., screens to Brian Thomas Jr. And let's not forget, because yes, Brian Thomas Jr. was fantastic as he normally is, and he had a 41-yard catch. He had 2 touchdowns. I mean, great efficiency, all that stuff. Let's not forget about Britton Strange, who got a lot more run in this game, a lot more targets because of the Evan Ingram injury out for the year. Britton Strange was targeted 12 times in this game. He caught 11 of those passes. Not big time down the field numbers, right? It wasn't. There's no question. It was not a very vertical passing attack for the Jaguars today. And when it was really ugly on Mac Jones' part. 2 interceptions. But Britton Strange was making himself available. He was catching the football. He was playing physical as a receiver. Did a really good job. 11 catches on 12 targets. Really, I thought the receivers did a good job as a whole today. Blocking on screens, they did a better job than I think you've seen in a really long time. But let's talk about the Mac Jones game. It was a weird game for him. Did he make some nice plays, some nice throws? Yes, he did. But he had Devin Duvernay wide open for a touchdown, was staring right at him. I don't know how he threw it or didn't throw it on that one. I don't know how he did not throw that ball. He also had Devin Duvernay NFL open, completely missed him, hit the safety in stride, interception pretty early in the game. Again, he did some decent things for sure, but his average depth of target was maybe 4 or 5 yards. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but he was not pushing the ball down the field. And when he did, again, some very poor results overall. And you see some of the average yards per catch or the big plays by Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, Devin Duvernay. It's yak. It was almost exclusively yak. Yards after catch. This game was on easy mode for Mac Jones. It was on easy mode. He had some nice runs. You got to give him some credit for being tough there, and obviously had a run, a big first down run where he spun past the defender and got some style points for that, I guess. Had some nice throws to Brian Thomas Jr., but he missed a lot. He missed a lot of throws. But again, Jaguars running the ball effectively, efficiently. They averaged 4.7 yards per carry on 29 carries. That does not sound like the Jacksonville Jaguars we're used to watching this year. The screens, again, efficient, effective, good blocking. Get it to Brian Thomas Jr., get it to your guys quickly, and let the blocking and the receiver do the rest. They got the hurry up game going as well, which I thought helped the tempo. Again, throwing it to your two best receivers all day, Brian Thomas Jr. and Brenton Strange. Mac Jones was 21 of 26 targeting Brian Thomas Jr. and Brenton Strange. I mean, he was fantastic. He was fantastic targeting those two guys, but he was not great outside of that. He really struggled outside of throwing it to those two guys. I'll tell you what, Aaron Rodgers can still play, obviously. Sauce Gardner had a really good game overall. I thought that Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams were difficult to deal with. A lot of flags in this game that kind of made the beginning of the game pretty choppy. I mentioned, just rolling through the notes, Tank Bigsy's ball security issues. Brenton Strange played really well. How about Jeremiah Ledbetter looking super explosive? Not only getting the sack, but then the backflip after, that was pretty, didn't stick the landing, but come on, that's a big boy doing a backflip. That's impressive. Had to give Brandon Sheriff a little shout out for, on a big Devin Duvernay catch and run, getting down there and blocking for his receiver way, way down the field. But yeah, I mean, anytime you got a Devin Lloyd one-on-one with Devontae Adams deep down the field, and it's no disrespect to Devin Lloyd, but you have a linebacker on Devontae Adams deep down the field, that is a problem. How about Devontae Adams wide open? So wide open that he was able to catch it and run it for I don't even know how many yards that was. 40, 50 yards? I mean, that changed the ball game. Defensive coverage busts were pretty abundant by the Jaguars in this one. So, as you've seen some progress by the Jaguars defense at times, I think you see them go against good quarterbacks in this league, which Aaron Rodgers still is a good quarterback with a lot of talent. They get shredded, just shredded by good quarterbacks. They really do. So, I don't think that this game changes a whole lot. The Jaguars were able to get to the 4th spot in the draft, so we'll obviously talk about that moving forward. We'll take a look at some mock drafts and have a good time with that. And moving up to 4, it is interesting because as of this moment, and the Patriots haven't played yet. So if the we need to look at that too. So the Patriots are still 3-10. And the Patriots will play Patriots are playing the Cardinals right now. So if the Patriots lose that game, they will fall to 3-11. And they have a weaker strength of schedule than the Jaguars. So the Jaguars will be back at 5. And then the rest of the weekend will just be about Monday Night Football if Vegas wins or loses, right? So things could stick. Things could just go back to the way they were before the weekend started. If all the teams lose, which that's probably what's going to happen. But you never know. The Raiders against the Falcons might be interesting in Las Vegas. Who knows? But if the Patriots lose to the Cardinals, they will be 3-11 with a worse strength of schedule than the Jaguars. They will be back at the 3rd spot in the draft, and the Jaguars will be back at 5 behind the Panthers there. Giants and Raiders at the top. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy last night, so obviously on a lot of people's minds, there's a chance he could still be there because you're going to see 2 quarterbacks come off the board in all likelihood. Then the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots, if one of them takes Travis Hunter, he'll obviously be off the board. And there's still a ways to go. This draft order could shift, it could change, but we'll talk about all that good stuff, get into mock drafts, have a good time. Hopefully you're able to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, supporting the channel. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe. Again, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. And if you want to support the channel further, you can check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear like the hat I am wearing right now. You can become a channel member as well, get access to some cool perks. Y'all have a good one.